In this video, I'll be talking to you about all of my keyboard shortcuts and what they do. These are insanely helpful and will make you become a much faster editor and way more proficient. If you'd like to download these shortcuts and import them as a preset for you to use, click on the download link in this lecture and then go to your computer and click on Documents, Adobe, Premiere Pro, and then click on the latest version of Premiere, click on your user profile, then click on Mac, and then copy and paste the preset into this folder. Then just restart Premiere, go into your keyboard shortcuts, click Keyboard Layout Preset and select My Preset, and my keyboard shortcuts will now work on your computer. So now I'll walk you through all of my keyboard shortcuts row by row and show you when I use them and how they can cut your editing time in half by using them. Alright, let's start on the top row going left to right. My first common keyboard shortcut is W. This is called Ripple Trim, and what this does is it automatically moves any clip to the right of my playhead to my playhead and gets rid of any of the space in between it. So instead of clicking and dragging a clip and moving it over to where I want it, I can just hit the up and down arrow keys and make it so that you jump to the beginning or end of a clip and then hit W to have all the footage snap to my playhead. This is also useful when I'm going through and cutting up a bunch of footage with lots of space in between the clips. I can just hit the down arrow key and then W repeatedly going back and forth, and it brings all of my footage together and gets rid of those spaces. The next keyboard shortcut that I use is E, and that adds an edit or just makes a cut in the clip where my playhead is. The other way I would do this is by selecting C for cut and then moving it to where I want to cut it, but I found it's much easier to just bring the playhead to the exact point where I want to cut the clip and then just hit E. The next keyboard shortcut is R, and this is the same as hitting the delete button. I've just found that it's less of a stretch for my fingers to hit R than it is to hit the delete button. The next shortcut is T, and what this does is it highlights a clip and changes its color to mango. Without the shortcut, I would have to right click on the clip, go to label, and select mango, but it's way easier to just hit T and then it changes the color just like that. I use mango to highlight all of my best footage in a project, so as I'm going through it, I know what my absolute favorite clips are. It's the closest color to gold, and so it shows me what all my golden clips are. The next shortcut is I and O, and this stands for in and out points. I always do this right before exporting. When you export, you need to select an in and out point, and then Premiere will export out whatever is in between those 2 points. This is also helpful to render footage. If you ever see that there's a red bar above your footage instead of a yellow bar, it means that you need to render it before it can play back smoothly. So in this instance, I would just create an in and an out point for that clip, hit the return or enter key, which starts rendering it out, and now I can play it back smoothly. The next keyboard shortcut is P for point. I use this when I'm wanting to adjust the audio levels of a track, and then I just hit P and click on the spots where I want to create a point. Then I can adjust those volume levels from there. The next keyboard shortcut is the left and right brackets. The left bracket decreases the overall audio level of a clip, and the right bracket increases the overall audio level of a clip. The next shortcut is the backslash key, and that zooms out until you can see your full timeline. This is helpful when I'm zoomed in quite a bit working on part of a timeline, and I can just hit this key and it zooms out to show me my whole timeline. Moving on to the next row down with the A key. This key allows me to click and select all of the clips ahead of where my mouse is, and it allows me to move all of those clips however I'd like. The next key is the S key, and this allows me to toggle the snap feature on or off. I always prefer to have it turned on, but every once in a while I'll find that it's turned off, so I'll hit the S key to turn it back on again. I also use this as Command S for save, which you should be doing every 5 to 10 minutes as you're working on your project. The next key that I use is the F key, and this toggles on full screen, which fills my whole screen with a program window. I always do this when I'm finished with a project, and then I go to the beginning of the timeline, and then I click F for full screen, and then watch through the whole video before exporting to make sure it's good to go. The next keyboard shortcut is L, and this makes it so that as I'm watching my footage, it speeds it up so that I can quickly watch through a long clip, which just speeds up my editing process a bit. Next is Z for zoom, and this allows you to zoom in when you click, and if you want to zoom out, just hold down the Option key after hitting Z, and that will allow you to zoom out when you click. And pressing Command Z will allow you to undo any action. Next is the C key, which allows you to cut a clip when you click. And if you hold down Shift after pressing C, you can cut through all the layers of your timeline instead of just one. The next key is V, which brings you back to your regular cursor and allows you to click and move clips. Next is the N key, which is the rolling edit tool, which allows you to make one clip shorter while making the clip next to it longer. Now moving on to the last row on the keyboard, holding down Option will allow you to duplicate a clip, and you can move that duplicate clip wherever you'd like. The spacebar allows you to press play and pause on your timeline, and then the left and the right arrow keys let you track one frame forward or backward, and then the up and the down arrow keys let you jump from the beginning of the clip to the next cut wherever it is. Now, I understand that this is probably a lot to take in right now, but keep in mind that it's taken me years of learning and practice to memorize all of these and get them down. So start now by maybe learning one new keyboard shortcut each day, and then in no time you'll have all of these down and you'll be able to edit like a pro. Premiere Pro. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.